Good evening. You're now watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Vincent Chan, and here's a look at tonight's top stories. Xi Jinping hails the success of the 20th Communist Party Congress. Locally, 13 people are sentenced in 2 separate unrest-related cases. And Boris Johnson might make a comeback as British Prime Minister. A key congress of China's Communist Party has ended with the election of a new team for President Xi Jinping's unprecedented third term. Missing from the new Central Committee lineup are Premier Li Keqiang and Vice Premier Han Zheng. Janice Low reports.
The week-long 20th National Congress of the Chinese Communist Party ended this morning after the nearly 2,300 delegates endorsed a new team for President Xi Jinping's unprecedented third term. Xi chaired the 2.5-hour meeting at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing. During the Congress, held every 5 years, delegates elected a 133-member Central Commission for Discipline Inspection and a new Central Committee with 205 members. 4 prominent members were missing from the lineup, indicating that they will go into retirement. They are Premier Li Keqiang, Vice Premier Han Zheng, who has supervised Hong Kong affairs, Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference Chairman Wang Yang, and National People's Congress Chairman Li Zhanshu.
现在提请表决，同意的代表请举手。
The report of the 19th CPC Central Commission and the work report of the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection were passed overwhelmingly. The delegates also approved constitutional amendments that further enhance Xi's position.
大会取得了
In his closing remarks, the president hailed the Congress as a complete success. It achieved the goals of setting a clear direction, unifying thoughts, as well as boosting confidence, he said. The new Central Committee will choose the Politburo Standing Committee tomorrow as Xi becomes the country's longest-serving leader since Mao Zedong. Some members of the old guard, including former President Hu Jintao and former Premier Wen Jiabao, were present this morning to usher in Xi's new team. But 79-year-old Hu was let out during the meeting. He appeared unsteady when he attended the opening session last Saturday. A military band playing the International to draw the Congress to a close. The new leadership will meet the local and international press tomorrow. Janice Low, HKIBC.
Here in Hong Kong, 9 people arrested during the Polytechnic University Siege 3 years ago have been jailed for up to 4 years. In another case related to the social unrest, 3 members of a pro-independence student group were imprisoned and a 4th sent to a training center. Maisie Mock reports.
4 members of the now-defunct group Student Politicsm were sentenced today after pleading guilty earlier to conspiracy to incite subversion. Between October 2020 and June last year, they chanted pro-independence slogans and urged people to overthrow the Hong Kong and central governments. District Judge Kwok Wai Kin said he believed the defendants understood the meaning of the protest slogan and deliberately challenged the national security law by chanting it. He said they used the street booths they set up to promote violence. Kwok sentenced 3 defendants to jail terms of between 2.5 years and 3 years. The 4th defendant, who's 20 years old, was sent to a training center. In another case, 9 people were jailed by the same court for rioting during the 2019 siege of the Polytechnic University in Tsim Sha Tsui. 5 were given a 35-month term for deliberately supporting the protest. Another person was also jailed for 35 months for assaulting police. The other 3 defendants received heavier sentences of between 45 and 48 months after being found to be directly involved in the violence. Maisie Mock, HKIBC.
New COVID cases in Hong Kong have climbed to just under 6,000. Officials registered 5,953 infections, including 364 imported ones. A total of 1,829 COVID patients are in hospital, and 10 of them are receiving intensive care. The chief executive says newly formed care teams will work for the benefit of the entire community in their district. But an official says the teams will have to perform well or their services will be suspended. Janice Low reports.
In his inaugural policy address, Chief Executive John Lee proposed setting up care teams for all of the city's 18 districts to help the needy. The scheme will start in Tsuen Wan and Southern districts in the first quarter of next year. Teams will have to prove that they have networks in the community and service experience. Speaking during a radio program this morning, Lee was asked why he did not provide more funding to district councils instead. He said the focus should be on the welfare of the entire district and not on fulfilling goals of individuals. Secretary for Home and Youth Affairs Alice Mack said the care teams will not duplicate the work of district councils. She said the councils act as advisory bodies, while care teams provide services. Mack added a care team's services may be suspended if it is unable to meet the government's targets. In his policy address, the chief executive also said he will strengthen a reward and punishment system for civil servants. Those with outstanding performances will be promoted and receive training. Those who underperform consistently face the sack. Janice Low, HKIBC.
The government says light public housing, its quick fix to the housing problem, will come with basic facilities, but the amenities will not be on par with those for permanent public housing. Macy Mock reports.
The government plans to build 30,000 light public housing flats in the next 5 years for those waiting for public rental units. The pre-assembled flats installed on site will be equipped with basic facilities such as air conditioners, water heaters, and bathrooms. The buildings will be installed with elevators. However, there will be fewer recreational and social welfare facilities, according to Deputy Financial Secretary Michael Wong, compared to traditional public housing estates. There won't be large shopping malls, but there will be places for people to buy basic necessities. Although the facilities will not match those in permanent public housing, Wong said living conditions will be better than in subdivided flats and construction will be faster. Light public housing will be built on government and private land. Housing chief Winnie Ho said the scheme will be led by the government, but the management and maintenance will be handled by other companies through open tender. The government will approach the Legislative Council for funds early next year, and the first batch of flats is expected to be ready in 2024 at the earliest. Maisie Mock, HKIBC.
A man has been arrested for allegedly filing nearly 100 false reports with the Yaoqing District Police. In the last 2 months, he is alleged to have filed reports of fights or fires at 2 buildings in Tsim Sha Tsui. But firefighters and police who were sent to the scene found nothing. After investigating, police arrested the 42-year-old of suspicion of wasting police time. Overseas, the race to succeed British Prime Minister Liz Truss has become more interesting, with speculation that her predecessor, Boris Johnson, is seeking a second bite at the cherry.
I think the favourite now has to be Boris Johnson because the membership will have the final say. They are voting online from Monday, and Boris Johnson is the most popular contender with the membership. Just last week, YouGov asked Tory members who would you want to replace Liz Truss, should she go? The answer, Boris Johnson. So he will be favourite because it looks as if he's going to get the 100 MPs needed to make it to the last 2.
Troops
Johnson has cut short a Caribbean holiday and returned to London, but a potential rival, Rishi Sunak, has already received 100 pledges of support, according to his loyalists. Sunak and Johnson have yet to formally declare their candidacy. Italy's first female Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, is set to begin governing the country at a time when Europe is facing economic turmoil as the conflict in Ukraine rages on. Meloni will head the most right-wing administration in Rome since the Second World War. She accepted the job after meeting President Sergio Mattarella nearly a month after her party, the Brothers of Italy, won elections. Meloni has assured her NATO and European Union allies that Rome's foreign policy will not change, but political analysts expect her to chart a course that will put Italy first.
She has already emerged as someone who, well, firstly, a woman that manages to get to the top of a very, very, very male party in a very male-dominated country, I think already in a sense speaks for itself. She is the daughter of a single mother. Father abandoned the family. She grew up in a working class neighborhood. So, you know, there is a background in a sense that kind of speaks of the personality that she is.
Supporters of Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan have protested after he was barred from holding public office for 5 years. In the capital, Islamabad, they blocked roads and hurled stones at police after the Election Commission said Khan had sold gifts from foreign leaders and hid the proceeds. His supporters also demonstrated in Karachi. Khan said the accusations were politically motivated and he will challenge the commission's ruling in the High Court. He was thrown out of office in April after losing a no-confidence vote. Another Israeli rights group has released a video to highlight an increase in Jewish settler violence against Palestinians. The footage provided by the Yesh Din organization shows a person who appears to be a heavily armed soldier helping a settler hurl stun grenades at Palestinian farmers in the West Bank village of Buran. 2 Palestinians were injured as rocks were also thrown at them as they were harvesting olives. The video does not show the Palestinians, but they reported that solar panels to heat their homes were damaged in the attack. The Israeli army said the person in military uniform was not a soldier, but a security guard for a Jewish settlement. Onto the weather now. It will be mainly cloudy with a few showers tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 23 and 28 degrees. It will be windy and dry in the following few days. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for Saturday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Vincent Chan. Thanks for watching. Good night.